Sorry for the long intro, but damn, I just love Capsule Corp. Welcome back to another chapter of the Mikado Saga. Last time, Sea Fighters and the Bouncers were able to save the world and Dominique from utter annihilation thanks to Doragon, as well as the Gallios, which controlled his satellite. But they were both destroyed, and Dominique is now her normal self. So, we got some loose ends to tie up here. This is like a breather chapter here. So here we are, guys. You thought the story would be over after the last battle, but it isn't. There's still some bonus material to cover. The first is, of course, the promise Ayame made to Sion and use the Dragon Balls. Plus, Dominique gets a makeover at a very unlikely place. Chapter 10, Tying Up Loose Ends. The heroes eventually headed back to where the fiasco started at the heart of Dog Street. Since there was hardly any room for everyone, Goten and Trunks didn't mind flying beside the Nimbus. They returned next to the Mikado Dome, and Ayame offered the quartet to test it whether or not they could ride it. First was Sion, and he was worthy. Then came Dominique, Volt next, and Ko. Unfortunately, the latter's hand went through. He tried to climb on it, but he wound up falling on his arse. Ooh, sorry, Ko. I guess you can't ride it. Looks like you're gonna have to spin the ride with Goten as he carries you. What? What? Fine. Everybody hang on. This thing goes really fast. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside at all times. Try to keep your balance, yada yada yada. Alright, let's go. To Dog Street. As the cloud slowly lifted off, Sion had a flashback as he gazed into the dome. He realized his master's body was removed, the room was just barren. Then his mind went back to when he himself was gravely wounded by Duragon and how he was separated. He really thought he was going to perish at that point, though it seems it wasn't his time. He felt Dominique's touch and he shifted to the present. However, he was not whole. Last stop! Everybody off! They did, and Co landed safely from the Sans boy's hold. Thanks for the lift, Go-10. No problem, Co. He and Trunks climbed aboard. Where are you going to now, Ayame? Oh, you'll see soon enough. Volt, are you sure you do not want Master Mikado back? During the Nimbus ride, they were discussing how she was going to use the reunited Dragon Balls. I'm positive, Ayame. Master Mikado would deserve to rest in peace with Chaldea and Sion's master. And I just don't want the corporation to exist. He sulked. I see. I'll be back after we make our wishes. I hope you'll see the dragon from here. She was full of doubt. She was only going to Kami's lookout. The pair volunteered to go with her, and they all rode the Nimbus there. It was around 10 a.m., and the lookout above the Earth was already bustling with activity as the Z-Fighters were awaiting the last two retrieved Dragon Balls. They met up with Goku, Gohan, Bulma, Videl, Krillin, 18, their daughter Marin, Piccolo, and of course Mr. Popo, Dende, Korn, and Yajirobe. They were impressed on their successful mission, even though it was a bit more than they originally bargained for. Bulma was the most relieved since she and her family won't have to live in fear rivaling Mikado's business, as well as the distant town of Edge. She hopes that it can recover from its depression if the resources and money should be passed over to it, and if not, she would gladly offer to help in their financial woes, since she realized her son, Goten, and Ayame made some new friends there. All right, everyone ready? Dende announced. Everyone nodded and gathered around the 7 secret orbs. Statue of Shenron was placed next to him. It's the usual routine, like the 4th of July. Usual routine here. After the Z-Fighters stared in awe for a couple moments, it talked in a vehement tone. I have been awakened. Please make your 3 wishes. What are you waiting for, Ayame? Go on. You've succeeded on getting the Dragon Balls, so you get to make them. Really? Me? Yes, go for it. She stopped next to Dende. I made my friend a promise. I'm going to keep it. Eternal Dragon, my name is Ayame. I'm the one who reunited the 7 Dragon Balls. I want you to fulfill my 3 wishes. Speak. Shenron, please wish back everyone that was killed by a madman named Duragon C. Mikado, by his own hands and by the satellites. I want you to revive everyone except for Chaldea Orchid, Master Mikado, and Mugetsu. Is that your first wish? Mm-hmm. It is done. Your wish has been granted. However, my powers are limited to make one more. It can grant 3 wishes, however, it has limits. If a wish is made to revive many people, in this case all the fallen ones by Duragon's hands, it's limited to just 2. She thought carefully as she only had that one wish in mind. She was never sure what her second one would be. But the dragon was growing impatient and suddenly came back to her. Shenron, my second wish is this. Is it possible to wish an android into a human being, in this case for Dominique? No, it's not, Krillin said. He tried to make that wish after the Cell Games. Androids 17 and 18 can't be converted to normal humans. It was just beyond his powers, even though they started as such. So Dominique must stay as a robot, immortal, no matter what. Ayame's head dropped, but 18 said she won't have to worry about dying and she'll forever be young. Shenron said that he can bring back Dominique's human vessel since she died from a terminal illness, like Volt said. But after some deep thinking, she turned it down, saying that Sion was better off with the android instead. Otherwise, it'll be back to square one. So the second wish was to erase the victims' memories of Duragon, excepting a few people. The Z-Fighters, Ko's boss Lian, Wang, Echidna, Dominique, and the 3 bouncers. If it worked for all those unfortunate souls who kept remembering the Cell Games and Kid Boo's and Majin Vegeta's destruction, it could work now too. So be it. It is done. I have fulfilled 2 wishes. I am finished here. Farewell. Dragon balls separated, turning to stone. Sky was clearing up. It's the usual. Well, that certainly was an incredible sight. Yeah, I wonder where Master Wong is. If he's not here, then where is he? Shenron always wishes back people where they met their deaths. Don't worry, Ayame. You kept your word. Wong would surely be at the Mikado Dome. This was the spot where he was perished by Duragon, after all. He had a flashback when it all happened, which you've already seen. She knew from experience how painful it must have been since she lost her mom a few years back, along with Goku numerous times. Hey, you okay? Yeah, I just hope he'll be able to return safely. He is of advanced age, and I can't wish him back again if anything should happen to him. Gods know where he is now. Under Dende's jurisdiction, Shenron can't wish back a person more than once, no matter what the cause of death, whether by natural causes or murder. That was like the biggest catch while resurrecting someone. She just couldn't seem to get it off her mind, even though a few weeks had passed. She tried retracing her steps as she searched for him in Mikado and at Edge. There were no signs. Not even his key, which was very well hidden. All this time she didn't want to say anything to Sion, as she was afraid he'd be disappointed and dejected for what happened. Elsewhere, fate was completely restored in all its dull, wore-down glory. Night fell over the city that never slept, not even the bouncers. And you would actually get this cutscene here. Can't wait to be done with this. So, here you are.
Man, I'm so bored. This place has been too quiet ever since that incident.
Hey, if we're not doing anything, it means the bar's doing just fine, right?
Yeah, but still. My amazing skills are gonna go to waste if I don't use them.
It's your shift, Sion.
Yeah, I know.
The thing is, though, his ending can be played out in many different ways. So here's one of them.
Master.
Listen to me, Sion. I don't want you to worry if I happen to disappear someday.
Master?
Just worry about improving your technique. Now come, Sion. I want you to show me everything I've taught you.
Hold on, guys. It's gonna take a while. So yeah, the thing about Sion's playthrough is that it can be made into many different ways. And this is one of them. They were in the woods. Octogenarian was standing beside him. He already heard of Chaldea's new job at Mikado, and at one time he recalled his mentor suddenly vanishing, as well as when some strange activity came from that corporation. Whatever it was, he knew it was never any good. Well, lo and behold, it was nothing to it, just a sparring match, only this time there was no training wheels and no holding back. The fight was pretty simple, and it almost seemed that Sion's and Wang's moves were very similar to each other. Their uppercuts, punches, and kicks had a similar fashion. However, due to his age, the mentor was a bit slower than him. With his mind completely focused, Sion managed to be the victor, knocking his mentor off his feet. Luckily, he wasn't injured, just impressed. And I hope the internet would cooperate and skip to the next scene. So, yeah. Ah, here it is.
You have learned well, Sion. It is now up to you to decide which path to take. You must never use the arts for personal vendettas. For someone so solitary, you've gained much power. However, you cannot continue this lonely path. Only when you open your heart and accept others will you become stronger. The spirit is the key to your strength.
So yeah, that's that. You should look up the Great Clements LP. I mean, you get a different result when you lose, but you can look up the Great Clements LP on how to unlock him. It's very unusual. So, the scene continues in this.
Hey, boy, can you put that on my tab? Bouncers can't be sleeping on the job.
Yeah?
You're wearing it!
Isn't that what a pendant's for?
I'm so happy. Thank you, Sion.
Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you.
What is it?
Thanks.
For what?
Thanks for the pendant.
Aww, that was just too cute. Now, normally the game would end here, but not this. So, meanwhile, Ayumi watched as the couple happily hugged each other. They looked great and comfortable, and maybe for once, Sion won't be so consumed with sorrow anymore. Hey guys! Hey, Ayumi! Hello, welcome back! Thanks. I made a wish to resurrect Wong, but I can't seem to trace him anywhere. It's alright. My master always seems to find his way. I'm certain he'll find me here soon. He's a bit inconfident. I will be looking forward to seeing him again, I guess. Oh, by the way, Dominique, you are an android. I know. Somehow I've always known. Really? Why didn't you say anything? I was always covering it up. After I escaped from my brother, Wang noticed this. He said I was a replica of my dead self. I never wanted anyone to know about what I was, as a product made by his vindictive ways. My memory's a little spotty, but I did remember some of my life. For the longest time, I was afraid. That's why I didn't. You have nothing to be ashamed of. Your brother is gone, and you could still live a normal, free life like you wanted. It's all over now. What about everyone else? Something will come up. So Ayumi, what's up? I was actually thinking she could visit the place where Trunks' family works, Capsule Corp. She took out the brochure. They read through it. Well, what do you think? He continued skimming through it. The unusual address. Wow, This is some really neat stuff. It's almost like Mikado, but it looks more peaceful. It even has a sparring arena. What are the dino caps? IMA stated they're the company's pride and joy, their most innovative piece of work, that any appliance can be packed in a single small capsule, hence the name. If you're interested, I can make an appointment so you can see for yourselves. What do you say, Dominique? Okay, sure. As long as I can go with Sion. Of course, you can both come. I'll make some arrangements. So Ayame entered the bar for once. She saw Walton Co. She dialed the number, asked if Olmo was here. Her father Dr. Brief picked up. Hey, it's me, Ayame. Listen, I was wondering if you can make an appointment for tomorrow. I got 2 people who are interested in visiting your place, Sion and Dominique. Oh, that's great! We were actually thinking about giving her a little makeover, if you will. She described his android, make herself comfortable, and perform some tweaking. She and her dad were fascinated about when they first found out from Trunks. He also described to them about her son's violent behavior, so she decided to give her a slight upgrade. She'd function more properly whilst removing some of Duragon's corruptive codes. How does tomorrow at noon sound? Sounds good. I'll make sure they are prompt to seeing you. They'll be so pleased. Okay, I'll see you all there. We will. Bye. She ran to the other 2 bouncers and described the appointment. Bolt was just as intrigued since he heard from Trunks, excepting from his father Vegeta he was fascinated with. Ko was more skeptical. Are you sure you know what they're doing? I'm positive they specialize around technology, especially androids. I could vouch for them. Doesn't it seem a little expensive to take such a gamble like this? Relax, Ko. It's prestigious, yes, but I'm sure they won't charge me. A lot of people stop by and they don't seem to mind about hefty prices. Trust me, have I ever been wrong? I hope you know what you're doing. Ayame broke the news. She'll be there at 11 a.m., enough time to summon the Nimbus and head to Dog Street, then to West City. They said they'll rendezvous at the apartment under their discretion. Think of it as a polar opposite of Mikado. By the time she got back to Dog Street, they were prepared. Dominique was a bit hesitant, but she climbed on the Nimbus with Sion, commanded it to go slow. Several feet above the buildings, it picked up some speed. The couple was very ecstatic as they never rode anything this exhilarating before. Several minutes went by when they reached their destination. And there's the dome. Here we are, you guys. Capsule Corp. Ayame parked the Nimbus in front of the entrance. She hopped out, then Sion, then Dominique. She led the way and rang the bell. Black monitor overlooked the door at the right-hand corner. Soon they met an old man, which I'm sure you already know who it is. Ah, greetings, Ayame. You're right on time. And this must be our guests, Sion and Dominique. Hi, I'm Dr. Brief. Welcome to Capsule Corp. Thanks. Yes, nice to meet you. Observing this, she was a bit shy. Don't worry, my dear. You have nothing to be afraid of. We have a very nice place. You'll love it here. Believe me. It is a lot better than Mikado. I've always despised that place. Make yourself at home, Ayame. Come, I'll show you around. Before he did, Scratch climbed off and rubbed against the android's legs and purred. Aww. She smiled and petted her. I see my companion really likes you, Dominique. She is very sweet. So, they first went into the massive lobby. There was an incredibly large atrium. There's a huge tree in the middle. There are a lot of plants and creatures. There is a koi pond with a running fountain. Sparring ring, complete with ropes and a mat, was located at the far right corner. They were incredibly fascinated with everything, including the inhabitants, including some dogs, cats, birds, and even a dinosaurs. Next, the doc showed them his prized possession, the dino caps, as they marched into the capsule chamber. Here, I'll show you how it's done. Stand back. Press the top down. time it cleared, a portable refrigerator appeared. How about a quick refreshment before we get started? Help yourselves. Sion and Dominique did quick cheers. She said it was perfect. And Sion asked if there's hard liquids, but he keeps them locked. Only privileged consumers can drink on social occasions. What it really loathed was people never drinking responsibly, and he caused a lot of trouble, especially when he was in college. So, they went to the fossils, they went to the jail cell. He said he hardly gets any criminals since the fall of the Red Ribbon Army, except for a few wannabe thieves, stealing the capsules. And finally, they were at the laboratory where Bulma was waiting. And, yeah, wanted to show them the upper floors. Like he said, time is of the essence. Dominique grew a bit nervous, though Sion kept reassuring her. Bulma stood up from her workstation. Oh, I see our guests have arrived. Yes, Dominique is a tad scared of the lab, but she shouldn't worry. I'll leave you two alone for a little while. We'll be ready very shortly. Sion, I hope I'll go through this. Don't worry. I'm confident they know what they're dealing with. Technology really is their specialty. They're not like Doragon at all. Believe me, you'll be fine. I hope so. Remember the plaque that he saw from West City's College Department of Science and Engineering. We're ready. It'll all be over before you know it. I promise. Eventually, he was escorted by her. She kept assuring him that she'll be okay under their watchful eyes. The operation could take a few hours. Just then, Trunks came down the hall playing on a handheld. His mom said if he could keep Sion company. Okay, sure. How's it going, Sion? They greeted each other. Led him to the residential floor 2. Floor 3 had the west and east towers, but visitors weren't allowed. Trunks showed Sion to his room, his variety of gadgets and toys that his grandpa made. There's a time capsule if he wishes to use it someday, and a Goku doll in which he beats up. Said he trains at the Atrium sparring arena often, as the bouncer was telling him how fascinated he was. Sion wishes he'd do the same if he should visit here again. After a while, he asked how he and Dominique first met. Then, as it started to rain, he looked out a window and had a flashback to 1 year ago, which is actually a bonus scene. Just give me a minute here. Lousy internet. Ugh. It's a very long ending. It's like 6 minutes long. So, hopefully it'll load this. Alright, it did. Sometimes it never works. But it's a very short scene here.
Who are you?
Dominique. Dominique Cross. What's your name?
Me? I'm Sion. Sion Barzad.
Sion.
So, yeah. That's it. I'm almost done using all the footage from the game. It was right then when I became a bouncer at Fate. Told Trunks everything with his sorrow. Found out about Caldea's death during the accident. Following the Mikado group, because of its devastation, he started a lot of fights in dangerous slums of Edge. He was desperate to end his life. Eventually directed to the saloon where he met Volt for the first time. That was when he began a large bar fight, and it got Trunks' comrades' attention. Surprised at his skills and endurance, the manager boss offered him a job. Trunks was so enthralled of his past life. My family wanted me to work for them, but I'm not too interested. I always like to fight. It's in my blood. Even though my dad isn't always around because he goes to other places to spar in. Who knows? I could land myself a job at Dog Street and clean house. That'd be great! Well, maybe we'll see, even though it's still in recession. What's that? Recession. Basically, Edge is going through a lot of financial woes, always in debt. So, yeah, financial situations got worse over the years. He wishes it could recover soon, and he did recall his mom's suggestion. Soon it started to rain heavily back at Dog Street, and the bouncers were a little concerned why Sion and Dominique haven't returned yet. Whether said storm wouldn't reach where there was until tomorrow, then again the meteorologist was often wrong. Ayume's being chastised by Ko. I'm sure the briefs will take care of them. Their hospitality shouldn't be too much of a burden. They always welcome new guests. At least Volt was a lot more hopeful than the obnoxious bouncer. Back at the lab, Bulma and Dr. Brief were scanning Dominique, and they hoped they wouldn't find any viruses. But there was actually a lot of corrupt data. She was clean and her codes had been rearranged and reprogrammed. And there's also, they hope Dominique has some proper training. However, Bulma's interest had changed to concern as she saw a large ominous spot within her skeletal framework. There was a large Trojan virus. They knew how to do it. And there were some lasers going through her, trying to remove the virus, which was a bit risky. Little by little, the virus dissipated. When it was completely gone, they did another scan. Then they heard a doorbell ring. Someone's here! I'll be right back! So there was a man in his 70s or 80s. He after Sion was here. Ah! It's Dr. Giro! Nah, I'm just yanking your chain. Who are you? Oh, we have a visitor. Please mind my grandson's manners. The old man said it wasn't a bother. In fact, he was admired by his enthusiasm. This was very common with curious kids like him. He introduced himself as Wang Liang, and he's been looking for Sion over the past few weeks. Oh yes, Sion's here. He was with Dominique when Ayame dropped him off here. My husband and my daughter are giving her an observation in the laboratory. They've been very busy for over 3 hours now. I see. So you're one of the guys Ayame brought back from the Dragon Balls? You were killed by Doragon, right? Come on, I'll take you to him. He'll be very happy to see you. But Panchi stopped him abruptly as he his homework. Oh, do I have to? All right, I'll do it. Wait, I think I should announce this to him first, just to surprise him. Sion, you have a visitor. He's been wanting to see you. Who is it, Trunks? I'll show you. He's out in the hall. So, I should have said brunette instead of redhead. Master? His throat started to close up. He thought he wasn't real. He hesitantly walked to him, then suddenly Sion wrapped Wang in his tight embrace. Trunks and Panchi watched their tender moment. They noticed his breathing was shallow. A couple warm tears fell from his eyes. He was so grateful that Ayame kept her promise. Blonde assured Trunks inside to do his homework while she could make lemonade and bake some cookies for Wang's homecoming. Bulma soon arrived. Sion, Dominique's operation was a complete success. We removed a very treacherous virus and rearranged some of her coding. She should be fine and dandy now. Thanks, Bulma. I really appreciate it. She noticed Wang, one of the C's from Doragon. You're welcome to see her if you want. She'll be happy you two are with her. Thank you, Mrs. Brief. Damn interruptions. She offered to take them to the recovery chamber. The android was resting on a bed complete with this and that. Night began to descend over the city, and they were astounded there was hardly any glares from light pollution. They were very environmentally sound. The men were resting. Vision was a bit blurry as she woke up. His head rested, and Sion woke up. Dominique! How are you feeling? Much better, Sion. I felt as if I've been reborn somewhat, more alive. He could tell the briefs did a phenomenal job, even Wong. You look beautiful, Dominique. Thanks. Then eventually they did something they thought they'd never do. They kissed. Everyone, including the Brief family, were really affectionate by it as they watched from outside. Sion, Wong, and Dominique had the Brief's permission to use Tight's desolated room for the night, since he was moved years ago, and is currently living in Omori's Island. Don't ask. I don't know what that is. I just looked it up. This was really tough to make, especially when they went to Capsule Corp. I'm sorry I didn't include Vegeta or Chi-Chi. I have my reasons, as I don't like either of them. But I figured it was a great idea to have Sion and Dominique visit the place, even when she got the observation. She'd be a lot better if she did have an upgrade. Let's hope the game would have the same thing, huh? Be in high definition, have a complete overhaul on it. Like co-op or better yet, a more developed story, including Doragons, better perspective on the flashbacks, etc. Square, quit the Final Fantasy Kingdom Hearts series and work on an upgrade of the Bouncer. It truly needs it. And also, don't rush it, because it was a launch title for the PS2. Put it on PlayStation Network and let it have tons of new content and potential. So hopefully it'll eventually have a sequel. I've been dying for one for over a decade now. Make it happen, Squeenix. And before I forget, I should show you this image. This is what it looked like when they were heading home from Mikado. So, stay tuned for the epilogue, guys.